wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit, I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant, I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Hey guys, Coach Dan here. We are week 5 fat loss phase continued. This will be the first pull workout this week, so she's all going pretty well. Oh, yesterday, last workout, should I say, lower body, rough, really rough. Got this little hamstring thing going on I'm going to have to work out. Frustrating, but again, it's all going to be about finding a workaround, and next lower body session, I'll show you how I might find workarounds and stuff like that. And it's not terribly bad, nor is it very good. It's kind of, it's there. So getting my steps in this morning, it's noticeable, leaning over and stuff like that, it's there. So it felt okay to do hack squats, but yeah, after 4 or 5 reps, I was really noticing it. So we will have to work around for the time being. And yeah, even some stuff today where I put myself in a position where my hamstring stretched, just might have to be quite mindful of. But again, this is all just part of it. It doesn't mean I have nothing to do. It's just I'm going to have to find workarounds. So my next lower body session, I suspect I'm going to take it not easy, but I'm going to find movements that are pain-free in that area. So, I've been doing a belt squat stiff-legged deadlift. I'm almost certain that's a no-go. So I'm going to find a way to, get some work into my hamstrings, potentially pain-free. Hack squats, no-go. So leg press, potentially no-go as well. So that's how she rolls sometimes. It's unusual for me to get hurt. So that's, maybe that's a good thing that I'm not used to it. But again, I'm trying to stay in good spirits about it. The rest of the process stays the same. We got steps. We got calorie allotments to hit. We've got our resistance training to do. And today is a good pull day. So let's go through the workout for today. Now, this workout is potentially as planned in, other than if this hamstring holds me back, which I don't suspect, and a lot of the things this will, but we will see when we begin. So exercise number 1 for today is going to be the chest supported T-bar row, really targeting the upper back and traps, so allow my shoulder blades to kind of roll over the pad and then squeeze back at the back. The Meadows row, which was the single arm row variation out of the Landmine. Very good. Will being in that position affect my hamstrings? We will find out. Coming up after that, I'm going lean forward, chest supported, plate loaded row. So a unique variation to kind of change the angle a little bit. So I'll be leaning my chest forward onto the chest pad just to kind of target a different part of my back than the T-bar row that I'm already doing is challenging. Same machine. I've been doing a single arm crossbody or offset plate loaded row. So same machine as the chest supported row, but kind of setting myself off to the side, big lat stretch, and then pulling nice and close to the hip. So far, very good. Classic pull down, neutral grip. So now we're focused on those lower lats. So if the horizontal pulling movement's the upper lats, now we're trying to hit the lower lats with the pull down. Incline lying lat prayer, a unique variation that I've only really ever tried in the last couple of weeks, and I feel it has merit. Setup is a bit challenging, but once we've got it, we've got it. And then let's get some biceps in, seated behind the back cable curl. Classic for me as far as bicep exercise goes. Probably a bit unusual, but definitely worth a try for a multitude of reasons, which I'll explain when we get out there. So that's us. We're going out to hit this big back workout. Things are as normal. Steps are up. Calories are down, but that's it. Weight is going down in the right direction, so we keep on keeping on. We try hard in the gym to keep the muscle that we do have, because that is one of the main goals, right? All right, let's hit it. All right, starting things off with the classic chest supported T-bar row. Really like this one. Happy to have it back in the routine the last couple of weeks. So the important things I kind of focus on as far as the chest supported T-bar row is kind of lining up the position of your chest such that you work what you want to work. So if I'm up too high, what will happen is I'll be flexed over the top of the pad, which is fine, but essentially what's going to happen is you're going to flex and extend as you row, and then potentially some of the limiting factors in your back will be the muscles that erect your spine. I want this to be about my upper back and traps. So I'm going to set that pad kind of high up on my chest such that when I'm rowing, when my shoulders come forward, well, when I bring the weight forward, should I say, my shoulders roll forward and then I squeeze them at the back. So something that I do on this as well is I don't actually put my feet on this platform here, because I find that when I do that and the weight gets decent, and it drives my chest into that terribly uncomfortable. So it's feet on the ground, line that up, take this over, protract or let the shoulder blades roll forward, pull and squeeze, pull and squeeze. Two handle options, I take the overhand one, but there'll be nothing wrong with that one. That feels pretty good as well. But for the time being, we're overhand. Okay, let's get it going. Big back workout. Energy levels will be fine. Good. All right, next up we have the Meadows row. So the Meadows row is a single arm rowing movement coming from the Landmine here. The Landmine's actually really interesting in this regard because it makes it quite hard at the beginning and then it kind of gaps above the hinge, so it makes it easier as you go on, which might make sense as far as muscle growth goes. But I do the movement because it can kind of get me in a position where I can target my upper back and I can kind of angle myself up such that it's the upper portion of my upper back, which is what I'm after, right? So essentially what we do, we set this bar into the Landmine. We take the edge of the bar here like this. We kind of find our angle and then we row like such that I'm pretty upright in this, but you could come over further if you really wanted to. I'm upright because I want it to be a kind of shrugging movement. We've done that T-bar row, which has come this way. So now I want to angle up a little bit so it's the upper portion of my trap. That's kind of the goal for me on this one. And yeah, so far so good on this one. This is reintroductory. I've only ever done it once before in a program, but it made sense here. Tried it in this program, feels good, so we carry on. All right, let's get our weight. Okay, next up I have my unique chest supported row variation. Now this one would probably be fine if I just did it as it was intended to use. Just kind of went here and like this. But I figure on this particular workout, I've already done a T-bar row. which kind of does that job somewhat. It kind of comes out and kind of comes in, very similar to this. And then I've done that Meadows row, which slightly goes up, so almost like that shrugging movement. Now I want something to kind of slightly go down and have the scapulars depress. And this is what I've gone for on this day. Well, there was a couple of weeks ago where I was doing this on a seated row machine, seated cable row, leaning forward, boop, and that was out of order. So I tried this and it feels really good. So essentially what I do in this kind of position here is I set my seat pretty low. I sit right on the edge of the bench and I lean forward. So we end up with this kind of lean forward chest supported row. And what you'll notice is that the resistance keeps coming out the same, but because I've orientated my body differently, it'll kind of make my scapulars go down. Well, that's the goal anyway. So I'll reach over, grab the handles, strap in, sit down into this kind of position there, roll the shoulders forward, squeeze, shoulders forward, squeeze. So sitting on the edge of the bench kind of angles my body forward, and at the end it kind of becomes shoulders dipping down. Well, that's the goal anyway. All right, let's build it on up and let's give it some. All right, so our lean forward chest supported row done. Only real downside to that one is that I can't quite reach. So I use the chest pad to get me extra range, because without I kind of run into the edge of the machine. But with that, I have to reach over, drag them back. Maybe a minor downside, but again, maybe I keep it in a moderate or high, like a moderate-ish rep range. So if it was really heavy and I had to haul it back, that might not be ideal, but maybe just a little lighter might work out well. Anyway, same machine, different goal. We're going single arm. We're going to kind of offset ourselves to the side. So with the upper back kind of rows and movements, arms come away from the body. Now, because this machine does kind of diverge and goes away from the body, I'm going to set myself to the side. So as it finishes, it lines up with me nice and close, and that will give my lat a really good opportunity to do as much of this as possible. So off to the side. The other good thing about this is that we get this nice stretch. There is some suggestion recently that there's some attachment points to the lat on the rib cage. So if I can stretch across my body, maybe that's more lat-ish. So offset to the side such that when I finish, I know it's going to kind of stay nice and close to my body. I'll strap in as usual, and then row. So I don't know, calling this like an offset or a cross-body lateral raise, something of that nature. And yeah, feels really nice. Give this one a whirl, especially if your chest supported row kind of diverges away and you're even trying to sit normally and do a single arm row. It's still kind of coming out like that. So on this one, we can line up so it stays nice and close to the body. And yeah, really smoke the lats mostly. All right, got a little bit extra weight to add here. All right, neutral grip pull down. Now we're doing our pull down for the lats, and they kind of are normally used synonymously, pull down and lat pull down, but potentially you can use the pull down to target the upper back, and you do that by taking wider hand positions, having the elbows come away, getting that shoulder blade shoulder blade retraction, or squeezing of the shoulder blades in different directions, and make it a little bit more about the upper back. Some people really swing themselves back, so if they're trying to target their lats and they're doing that, that might not be the wisest decision. So if we want to make this about our lats, the opposite of that would be, well, not the opposite, but whatever, narrow-ish handles, right? So just like when we rode there, we wanted to keep the arm close to the body. That's our horizontal lat movement for the day, potentially working the upper lats. Now we want to go vertical and pull down, but again, we're usually going to be in close. So neutral grip, you make shoulder width apart. Could be neutral, that's what I'm doing, a narrow neutral, which I'll show you in a sec. Reverse, nice and close, but essentially we're pulling our arm down and into the pocket, not away from the back. So people would use like a wide hand position and start to do that, but you can see that my arms are going away from my body, and the movement can start to become quite upper backy. You'll see shoulders move more and stuff like that. We essentially want to pull the arm down such that it's lat dominant. So how she'll roll, I've got this narrow neutral grip. You know, that could be wider, could be reverse grip, could be whatever, with the arms close to the body. I'll tuck under, a slight lean back, really lock those legs in so you're not getting yanked up. Pull down, stretch, pull down. Yeah, so arms close to the body, drive down as if it's going into your back pocket, because that is where your lower lats are going. They kind of go down towards your pelvis. And yeah, let's go. Fatigue is starting to kick in. Again, not having all the calories in the world makes towards the end of workouts challenging. So I've got to keep refocusing and make sure we don't switch off. We've got a few exercises to go. Alright, next up we have my incline lying. So we're on the incline bench here. We've rolled this into the cable string. We have a rope, so I'm calling this incline lying lat prayer. So, has this exercise got some fuckery to it? Yes. Does it feel good? Yes. Do I keep doing it? Yes. So there you go. Good one. So lat prayer, traditionally, cable set here, standing, drag in. I've kind of made it such that we have this bench here, and we're essentially going to bring a bench over to the cable machine, have this on the incline, try and make it hard at the beginning, as well as make the bench such that you can't cheat the movement or shift your body or anything like that. So, but getting into position is a little bit tricky. So we get the rope like such, kind of sit down here, a little awkward, but once you're in position, then it's go time. Just drive those arms down. Trying to use your lats. So when we do the lat prayers, the idea is that it is somewhat of a low isolation exercise for the lat, even though the long head of the tricep and the rear delt both have the ability to kind of help out here, but we're thinking about lat. So just like those pull downs from before, we're driving our arm down like that without bending and straightening the elbow. And we just have to coordinate getting on the bench and stuff like that. So again, being that it is that way inclined, you have to get over here, get on the bench. The weight is never usually too heavy, kind of moderate rep range, maybe high if you like that. Moderate rep range or high, so 10, 15, maybe plus reps, such that getting it into position is not such an energy waste. If I did this at 6 to 8 reps, the weight would have to be really heavy. I'd have to wrestle it over, and that would be probably not very good. All right, I've got a couple more kgs to add and then we're on. if we're hauling a...
That's not talking about anything. Like, I have a slight, only one thing to do. So they're a hardcore band. So there's like no barricade, people driving. And the singers up on stage.
All right, next up we have our bicep isolation exercise. So this is a behind the back cable curl. So what I've done here is I've taken a bench, rolled it into the functional trainer cable machine. I've set the handles up at about hand height. So when I sit down, they'll be at about hand height. Now, a major benefit to this one is that we get a big stretch in the bicep, but also because we can set the height of that, we can make it hard in that stretch position. So that has some potential merit. So not only are we stretching the bicep, which has some merit, we're making it hard in that most stretched position, because as we initiate this movement, we'll be directly opposing the cable, versus if I made it lower, it wouldn't start getting hard until I started to go up. As well as, that's the same for gravity, right? If I'm doing a standard curl like this, it doesn't get hard or the hardest until I start to go up against gravity. So that's where the merit is here, big stretch, and we can make it hard in the stretch position. So I use my grips, that's probably not absolutely necessary. And there is some getting into position challenges here. So I'll have to take the cables over the top of this bench, sit down before I can actually begin. Now that has some potential downsides, but the potential upsides in my mind outweigh that. So, but again, what that would mean for an exercise like this is that we're probably not doing it at a really low rep range, really heavy. It's probably moderate, because otherwise I have to wrestle heavy weights over the top of this bench, get them into position, and that might just waste a lot of juice. If I keep it about 10 to 15 reps for set one, it means it's easy enough to get into position. And again, if we're going close enough to failure, whether it's 6 reps or 15 reps, seems to be good either way. All right, I think I summarized that nicely. Let's head into our working sets. All right, that's a wrap on the workout, guys. The fatigue is kicking in, not gonna lie. You get into a workout and you're feeling pretty good at the beginning, motivation levels are decent, and then as the workout goes on, it sort of starts to wear on you, you get a bit flat. But again, this is part and parcel of this particular phase, is that we are underfeeding ourselves, so we're not giving ourselves the required energy such that our body stores, ideally fat, and that's just kind of the way these fat loss phases roll sometimes. Yeah, like, do you want to feel buried after a couple of weeks? Probably not, but depending on the goal of your leanness, and you know, sometimes people can walk around a bit leaner than others and feel fine, and so there's a genetic component, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, at a certain stage you might have to just, you know, grit and bear the fatigue, maybe not always love the workouts, maybe feel a dip in energy, you know, throughout this time. But again, we know we got a duration on our hand that lasts a few weeks to get some fat off of us, and then we head back into the opposing phase in good stead, in a lean spot, to be able to build as much muscle as possible. So, and this is a cycle that runs from now until the end of time. All right, let's get out of here. As always, if you're liking the content, hit the little subscribe up here. If you want to watch another video, click this bad boy. And as always, it's about progress over perfection. Coach Dan, signing off.